Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many: juggling the roles of a high-performing professional and a new parent. If you've ever tried to handle a conference call with one hand while bouncing a baby with the other, this one's for you. Who is Jenna? Let me introduce you to Jenna, a finance director and brand new parent. Before becoming a mom, Jenna was the go-to person for all things finance, crunching numbers, analyzing complex data, and leading strategic meetings like a boss. But once her baby arrived, her life turned into a 24/7 balancing act. Picture this: Excel sheets by day, diapers by night. Why does this matter? Because Jenna's experience is not unique. According to research, 70% of new parents in high-stress jobs report feeling overwhelmed, and many struggle to maintain the same level of productivity they once had. But here's the kicker: burnout is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that the system, not the person, needs to adapt. So today, we'll walk through how Jenna transformed her approach, using strategies that any overwhelmed parent professional can apply. Let's look at Jenna's typical day. At 4:30 a.m., the baby wakes up crying. After feeding and changing, Jenna tries to catch some sleep, but her alarm rings at 6 a.m. At 8 a.m., she's in front of her computer, attempting to dive into a financial report, but a stream of emails demanding urgent responses distracts her. At noon, she's juggling a conference call when the baby's nanny cancels. Jenna's now trying to focus on quarterly targets while singing lullabies. At 4 p.m., she powers through her to-do list, but the workday stretches well into the evening, eating into family time. At 11 p.m., the baby is finally asleep. Jenna tries to review the day's work but ends up overwhelmed and exhausted. Sound familiar? What the impact of this? It's emotional overload. Jenna felt like she was failing at everything, unable to give 100% to either her career or her family. It's physical fatigue. Sleep deprivation wore her down. She was constantly exhausted, leading to brain fog and decision fatigue. It's professional anxiety. With deadlines looming, Jenna feared her performance would slip, jeopardizing her reputation at work. It was a vicious cycle. It's like trying to juggle 3 chainsaws while riding a unicycle. One small slip and it's chaos. And yet, Jenna was expected to not just survive but excel. Here is solution number 1 for parenting and professional balance. Jenna needed a strategy that would help her integrate, not separate, her roles as a parent and a professional. Enter the parenting and professional balance framework. Step 1 is utilizing flexible scheduling options. The first thing we did was encourage Jenna to stop pretending her life was the same as before. Instead, she embraced flexibility. What actions did Jenna take? Jenna spoke with her manager and set up a flexible schedule, starting her workday earlier to accommodate her morning energy peak. She also took a 2-hour midday break to spend time with her baby, recharge, and be more present at home. She rescheduled meetings to fit around the baby's nap times whenever possible. Why this works? Research shows that professionals who set boundaries and work within their energy peaks experience 25% higher productivity and lower stress. Think of it like baking a cake. If you try to add all the ingredients at once, it's a mess. But if you layer it thoughtfully, the result is delicious. Jenna stopped throwing everything in at once and started layering her priorities. Step 2 is defining non-negotiable focus blocks. Jenna created non-negotiable focus blocks during her peak times. Morning block, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for deep work, emails were off, and meetings were a strict no-go. Afternoon block, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for client calls and team management. By protecting her peak focus times, Jenna could tackle her most challenging tasks when she was at her sharpest. The outcome of this was, Jenna's work quality improved. Her colleagues noticed she was more engaged during meetings, and she no longer had to pull late-night hours. Within a month, her performance scores were back to their pre-baby levels. Think of your focus time like primetime TV slots. You don't want to waste it on reruns. Reserve it for your most important projects. Let's look at solution number 2, which is implement microtasking. Next, Jenna's tackled her overwhelm with a simple but powerful tool, microtasking. Step 1 included breaking large projects into bite-sized tasks. Instead of staring at a giant financial report and panicking, Jenna looked at how to break it down into manageable chunks. Instead of analyze Q3 financials, she broke it into 1. Reviewing revenue trends for product A for 15 minutes. 2. Identifying expense anomalies for 20 minutes. 3. Draft initial findings for 30 minutes. Each task was short, specific, and time-bound, making it easier to tackle, even when she was low on energy. Why this works is microtasking helps your brain stay focused and gives you a sense of progress, even when time is limited. Think of it like eating a pizza one slice at a time. Trying to devour the whole thing in one bite is just a recipe for indigestion. Jenna's mantra became, one slice at a time. Because no one wants to be that person who tries to eat the entire pizza and burns out halfway through. Step 2 included prioritizing by impact, not urgency. Jenna was introduced to the impact over urgency method. Instead of jumping at every urgent email, Jenna focused on what would have the biggest impact on her long-term goals. Outcome was that Jenna started finishing high-impact projects ahead of schedule, leaving more time for the inevitable emergencies that came up. Her stress levels dropped, and she felt more in control of her workload. Think of your tasks like playing chess. It's not about moving every piece at once, it's about making strategic moves that set you up for success. Let's look at solution number 3, which was establishing new rhythms at home and work. Finally, Jenna adapted to her new normal by establishing sustainable rhythms. Step 1 was creating a morning routine with the baby. Before diving into work, Jenna spent the first hour of her day bonding with her baby. They'd go for a walk, have breakfast, and read together. This uninterrupted time filled her with positive energy before starting work. Why this works is starting the day on a positive note sets the tone for everything that follows. Think of it like setting the right radio frequency. If you start on static, it's hard to find a clear channel later. And bonus: baby time doubles as a cardio workout. Who needs the gym when you've got a 20-pound weight? Who giggles? Step 2 included ending each day with a shutdown ritual. At the end of each day, Jenna implemented a shutdown ritual. She'd close her laptop, put away her work notes, and spend 5 minutes reflecting on what she accomplished. Then, she'd switch into mom mode, signaling her brain that the workday was over. Jenna's anxiety about unfinished tasks decreased. By formally closing her workday, she could be fully present with her family. Her home life flourished, and so did her professional life. Because at the end of the day, if you're half present everywhere, you're fully present nowhere. And Jenna was done with being the queen of multitasking chaos.